What calms your stomach in the morning? Maybe it is not medicine at all. No pills, no special drink from a store, just a root. It is probably sitting in your kitchen right now. People have used it for thousands of years, long before modern medicine ever existed, long before doctors, and long before pills in little bottles. Most people only think about it when they are sick. A sore throat, a stomach problem, something is already wrong. But what if it also works on a normal morning? Before anything is wrong at all. Before the first ache even starts. Quick question for you. When was the last time you drank ginger tea? Was it only when you were sick? Or have you had it on a normal, healthy morning too? Tell us in the comments. There is no wrong answer. We are simply curious. Today, we find out why this small root deserves a place in your morning. Sick or not. Today's habit is simple. Drink 1 warm cup of ginger tea every morning. Have it before your coffee, or instead of your coffee. This is not medicine. This is not only for when you feel unwell. It is just a warm cup, made simply, as a normal part of your morning. Here is the question for today. Why does a warm cup of ginger tea help settle your stomach in a way that coffee never can? By the end of this episode, you will understand why, and you will know exactly what to do tomorrow morning. 1 small cup. That is all it takes. Let's start. First, let's talk about something. Why do most people only reach for ginger tea once something has already gone wrong? It is not because ginger tea tastes bad. It is not because it is hard to make. There are real reasons, and every one of them makes sense. For most people, their first memory of ginger tea is simple. A parent or a grandparent made it during a cold or during a stomach ache. That early memory sticks. Ginger tea becomes something for when you feel sick, never something for a normal, healthy morning. On top of that, coffee already owns the morning for a lot of people. It is often the very first thing people reach for, almost without thinking. Adding something before coffee, or instead of it, can feel like giving up something important. There is also a simpler problem underneath all of this. Most people do not really know what ginger actually is, or why it might help. Ginger often feels like just another cooking spice, something for a stir-fry, or a cake, not something you would think to drink on its own. Most people have never even tasted ginger by itself, only mixed into other food. You do not know what ginger does inside your body, so it is hard to see why anyone would drink it every day. And even for someone curious enough to try, making ginger tea can sound like more work. Slicing fresh ginger, boiling water, waiting for it to steep. All of that can feel like more steps than simply pressing a button on a coffee machine. That uncertainty shows up in one more way, too. People are not sure how much ginger to use. They are not sure if they are doing it the right way. Without one simple method, trying ginger tea for the first time can feel a little confusing. Too much guessing for a rushed morning. There is also a quieter reason, and it is about taste, not habit. Ginger has a sharp, spicy bite. Some people find it a little strong the very first time they try it, especially next to the soft, sweet taste of most regular teas. One strong first sip can be enough to stop someone from trying it again. Even though the taste feels much softer once a person gets used to it. And finally, for a lot of people, nobody ever showed them this habit at all. Some families grew up with ginger tea as an everyday drink, a normal part of every morning, without a second thought. other families never had it. Maybe just a piece of ginger candy, or a slice in a fancy dish. If you never see something as normal, it never occurs to you to try making it yourself. All of these reasons make complete sense. Nobody is doing anything wrong by only thinking of ginger tea when they are sick. Today, you are going to learn exactly why this root works, and why your stomach might like it on a completely normal morning too. So why does ginger tea actually help settle your stomach? Let's keep this simple. Ginger is a root. It grows underground, not on a tree or a bush, like most fruit you know. Inside that root are natural things that give ginger its warm, spicy taste. Those same natural things seem to work with your stomach in a gentle, helpful way. People have used ginger for a very long time, in many different places. They used it to help an uneasy stomach feel calmer. Long before modern medicine existed, ginger was already helping people with an upset stomach. Part of how this works has to do with digestion. Ginger may help your stomach digest food a little more smoothly. Digestion is simply how your body breaks down food after you eat it. It may help your stomach move in a calmer, steadier way, instead of the tense, uneven way it sometimes moves when something feels off. There is also something worth knowing about warmth on its own. A warm drink tends to relax the muscles around your stomach a little. This happens no matter what is inside the drink. Warmth simply has a relaxing effect on muscles, all through the body. Put that natural warmth together with ginger. Now you have a drink that helps your stomach from two sides at once. The warmth relaxes things, gently, and the ginger does its own separate work alongside it. This is quite different from coffee, especially on an empty stomach. Coffee can sometimes make a stomach feel more awake, even a little upset. This happens most when coffee is the very first thing you drink all day. For some people, that feeling lands right on top of whatever uneasy feeling was already there. Many people say a warm cup of ginger tea helps their stomach feel calmer before breakfast. Not because it cures anything, but because it gently soothes that slightly off feeling many people simply accept as normal. There is one more detail worth knowing, and it has to do with smell as much as taste. The same natural things that give ginger its spicy flavor also make its warm smell. That smell rises up from the cup the moment hot water touches it. Many people find that smell alone feels calming, even before the first sip. Peppermint or chamomile can feel calming too, in a similar way. Calming, even before a person finishes drinking it. The warmth, the smell, and the ginger itself all seem to work together. Not just one part, doing all the work alone. This is part of why ginger tea feels different from coffee, even before your first sip. Coffee has its own strong, familiar smell, but it is a smell that says, "Wake up, move fast." Ginger's smell moves in a quieter direction, closer to the way a warm bowl of soup smells comforting on a cold day. Not like the smell of a busy morning, rushing out the door. It is worth saying this clearly. Ginger tea is not a treatment for any medical problem. Maybe your stomach pain is strong. Maybe it happens often, or lasts a long time. If so, please talk to a doctor about it. Do not only rely on tea. This habit is about a small, gentle morning routine. It is not about replacing real medical help if something more serious is going on. Picture someone you might recognize. There was a person. Almost every morning, they woke up with a stomach that felt a little uneasy, a bit bloated, a little unsettled. Nothing serious, just enough to notice. They drank coffee anyway. They thought that feeling was simply part of waking up, something everyone deals with. One morning, a friend told them to try ginger tea instead, just to see what would happen. They sliced a little fresh ginger, they poured hot water over it, they let it sit for a few minutes, then drank it slowly. By the middle of that same morning, they noticed something. That familiar uneasy feeling was not completely gone, but it felt noticeably calmer than it usually did on coffee mornings. They were not sure exactly why. They only knew their stomach felt more settled than usual. A similar story happened to someone who travels often for work. Long flights and food in new places often left their stomach feeling unsettled the next morning. They had simply learned to live with it as part of traveling. A colleague who traveled even more often always carried ginger tea bags in their bag, just for mornings exactly like that one. Out of curiosity, this person tried one. After a rough morning following a long flight, the relief was not big or instant, but within the hour, their stomach felt calmer than usual, under the same kind of conditions. Calm enough that they started packing a few ginger tea bags of their own for future trips. After a few more trips, this stopped feeling like something special, only for travel days. It simply became part of how they packed, the same way they never forgot their phone charger. Eventually, that same small box of tea bags found its way into their kitchen at home, too. It quietly became part of an everyday morning, not just a travel morning. A third story comes from someone who had never thought much about their stomach at all, until a friend mentioned, almost without thinking, that they drank ginger tea most mornings, just out of habit, not because of any real problem. Curious, this person tried it for 1 week, mostly just to see what the fuss was about. By the end of that week, they did not notice anything big, no sudden change, no clear before and after. What they did notice was small. Their mornings simply felt a little gentler than they remembered. The kind of small difference you might miss, unless you happen to be paying attention. They kept the habit going, not because of one big result, but because the warm cup itself had quietly become something they looked forward to. So now you understand why ginger tea can help an uneasy stomach feel calmer. But here is where it is easy to get this wrong. People sometimes think they need a complicated method, exact measurements, special equipment, before they can make this properly. That is not true at all. So what does the simplest version of this actually look like? Take a small piece of fresh ginger. Peel it, if you like. Cut it into a few thin slices. Drop those slices into a cup of hot water. Let it sit for about 5 minutes. This lets the flavor spread into the water. Then sip it slowly, while it is still warm. Maybe fresh ginger is not around. Maybe it feels like too much work some mornings. A ginger tea bag works just as well. Simply steep it in hot water, the same way you would with any other tea bag. There is no need to measure anything exactly. A few slices, or 1 tea bag, is enough for 1 cup. You do not need to make it strong for it to be worth drinking. You do not have to give up coffee completely to try this habit. Some people drink ginger tea first, then have coffee a little while after. Others swap coffee for ginger tea on certain mornings, especially mornings when their stomach already feels a little off, before they have had anything at all. Keep a small piece of ginger somewhere you can see it, or keep a box of ginger tea bags there. Put it near your other morning drinks. This makes it an easy, automatic choice, instead of something you have to remember to look for. Fresh ginger also keeps well in the freezer for weeks at a time, so you do not need to buy a fresh piece every few days. A frozen piece slices just as easily as a fresh one, straight from the freezer. This makes the habit even easier to keep going, without extra trips to the store. If the taste feels too strong at first, start with fewer slices, or steep a tea bag for a shorter time. You can slowly make it stronger. Just wait, as your taste gets used to it, over the next few weeks. Some people also add a little honey, or a slice of lemon. This can soften the sharp edge of the ginger taste, without changing how it works. There is no strict rule about exact timing either. Just have it warm, and have it before food. Some people drink it the moment they wake up, before anything else. Others drink it after washing up, or after getting dressed, whenever it naturally fits into their morning. What matters far more than the exact timing is simply doing it often, not just on hard mornings. When you do this regularly, ginger tea becomes just another part of your morning, the same way coffee, or your regular tea, already is. You stop thinking of it as something unusual. It becomes just another warm cup, waiting quietly for whichever morning your stomach wants it. So here is what you can do. Tomorrow morning, before your usual coffee, or instead of it, if you want to try something different, make a warm cup of ginger tea. A few slices of fresh ginger in hot water, or a ginger tea bag. Whatever is easier for you that morning. Let it sit for a few minutes. Then sip it slowly. So remember, tomorrow morning, before your coffee, 1 warm cup of ginger tea. That is the one thing. Can you try this? I think you can. It takes only a few minutes to make. It costs very little, and your stomach might feel a little more settled tomorrow morning than it usually does. We are almost at the end of today's episode, but before we finish, let me paint one small picture for you. Tomorrow morning, you wake up. Your stomach feels a little off, the same way it sometimes does. But this time, instead of reaching straight for coffee, you boil some water. You add a few slices of ginger, or you drop in a tea bag. You wait a few minutes. Then you sip it slowly, while it is still warm. The warmth spreads through your hands first, through the cup, before it ever reaches your stomach. Your stomach does not feel perfect right away, but it feels a little calmer, a little more settled than it usually does. By this point in the morning, you finish the cup. You go on with your day, just like always. But that quiet, uneasy feeling you usually carry through the morning is a little quieter today. Let's remember what we talked about today. Ginger is a root. People have used it for a very long time to help an uneasy stomach feel calmer. Ginger may help your stomach digest food a little more easily, with less discomfort. A warm drink, on its own, can help the muscles in your stomach relax a little too. Ginger tea, sipped slowly, can soothe a stomach that feels slightly off in the morning, and you do not need to be sick to drink it. It can simply be part of a normal, ordinary morning. Tomorrow morning, before your coffee, 1 warm cup of ginger tea. That is the one thing. Now let's go over our words for today. Warm. A warm drink does something cold water, or coffee, cannot do. Settle. Ginger tea can help settle your stomach. It calms it down. Root. Ginger is a root. It grows underground, not on a tree or a bush. Digest. Ginger helps your stomach digest food a little more easily. Soothe. A warm cup of ginger tea can soothe an uneasy stomach. Sip. Sip it slowly. Do not drink it all at once. If this was helpful, listen again, or share it with a friend who wants to learn English and feel better in the morning. And let us know in the comments. Will you try ginger tea tomorrow morning, even if you feel completely fine? See you next time.